Those who have ears, let them hear. And those who have understanding, let them understand. That seek ye first all the righteousness of the kingdom of heaven would be on earth as it is in heaven. So that means all of the faith, every faith. And then prepare him room. Believe in him as well. Believe in Jesus. That's the New Testament. So anybody who condemns anyone of any faith or any other faith is wrong. Condemnation is wrong in itself because he did not come here to condemn the world, but to maybe save through him. The only thing that you're supposed to condemn, and what can condemn means, would be to comment on how to remove from said situation. I say this because people out here right now use names, name drop, and then they preach against certain things instead of going, hey, those who are in a crisis, maybe we can show you how to remove from that. Also, I get into the understanding of what it means to just say, I know, I know, I know, I know. Because you'll never know. You can never know anything. You can only seek to understand. There's only understanding, love over hate, forgiveness over resentment, understanding, empathetic, and kind, slow to anger over lewd, crude, judgmental, and just be a witness to the problem. Whatever you're rooted in, you're rooted in. And if you're rooted in condemnation and preaching hell over everything, is there any godliness left in you when I return? When I return, is there any godliness left in you to say that if it is just hell out of your lips and out of your mouths, what have you not listened to? To understand that all the righteousness and the wisdom and the circumnavigation of understanding and to follow the golden rule, you've fallen from that. And 100% of the time, we always go back into what we hate, we preach against. But you can't understand how bad somebody is in a condition such as addiction, and meeting 98% of everybody they ever met is 100% in trouble some way or another, and we're all flawed people. There is no perfection in this world. So all there is the love and admiration of life, to be ambassadors for it, to be a blessing and not a curse. A curse is something that we all end up fall victim to, because evil begets evil. It teaches each other. Wicked teaches wicked. So everything becomes 100% a part of not understanding or learning any of this, going back into the understanding of what we didn't have in school systems and the history of every life that was in one of these. And when it says ordinary people with extraordinary lives, and how their heads are always painted with an enlightenment around it, right? Buddha reached enlightenment. He also said to have claimed he was with the bright morning star. Read the last page of the Bible. The last page of the Bible will tell you who the bright morning star is. It's pretty amazing to understand that the Holy of Holies was the heavens back then. The Holy of Holies was what they were called the heavens. And everlasting to everlasting is L to L. Whether it was Elohim or Emmanuel or anything of a UH, like Anunnaki or Anadai. Anadai is the Lord is one. Or interdimensional. Inter, one, is die. Men shun, or men's sons. And then when you see the Zion part in it, when you write it out, and the last two letters in it is AL, which is Almighty. So anything that was almighty men, all men, and then when it preaches anything of demon, it was the men that fell from grace. So there is no demon or power or principality that can separate you from the love of the Father. It is just a way of teaching. Sons of light, sons of darkness. What you become is what you see, is what you get. So your conditions in and around your areas come and see, and you sense everything. You learn your morality, your morals by where you live. And you have to base it upon and judge it. Otherwise, you just lock yourself in a room like this to stay away from everything else outside. And it becomes a problem because then you can't even live on a planet to try and find the way, the truth, and the life unless you find other people that are like mind or like mind with you. That's where the New Testament really starts to get interesting, because they said like mind with like mind. Find people that are like that. But even though as we are yet sinners, when we were godless and insane, which things are heading back into that way, godless and insane, because insanity is sin. Written by an invisible hand in the book of Daniel, it says, manny, manny, tekel, aparsin. Tekel is telekinesis. Did you know when you read in silence, you can hear your mind speak? Try it. Tell me if you don't believe God knows your thoughts. Or if you really don't understand way back in the Old Testament, there was just God. They had to make a decision on earth at one point, either to believe in Baal, a false god, something that was of statues and nothingness, or God is spirit. And you have a soul that connects to the universe, that connects to the earth, that has a spiritual dressing beyond anything else. We made an enemy out of something that isn't even real. The enemy is our conditions, the enemy is the way our lives go, and the enemy has everything to do with the way we treat each other. That's why Jesus said, follow the golden rule. The Sumerians had a conscious mind called a golden compass. Jesus talked about a Christ mind. Probably also talked about a golden conscience, because in the book of in the Bible, Jesus talks about stay out of Samaria. And also, when he spoke to the Samaritan woman, I would like people to do me a favor. They said that he condemned her. Every pastor or theologian believes he condemned her about being with 5 men. He asked her for a drink. What did Abraham's servant do whenever he was looking for a wife for Isaac? Isaac's servant asked the woman at Jacob's well for a drink. So, therefore, Jesus said, woman, you've had 5 men that haven't treated you right. Would you mind giving me a drink? I can give you living water. That sounds more like a man who is looking to find somebody to spend some time with, and maybe a wife. And then this is how friends are. His own disciples said, what are you doing? That woman's unclean. Check the scripture, see if you think I'm right. God bless.